Spike's RT blog date, November 14th, 2012. Alright, I just came back from the movie theater to watch one particular movie, which I will get to in just a few minutes. But right now, let's get to some of the things that we need to talk about. First of all, back in Fur Fright, they had a decent amount of furs attend. About 1,500 came to Cromwell. However, there has been a bit of controversy concerning their security. Back on October 28th, Dragoneer, who is the who runs Fur Affinity, he declared he would not return to Fur Fight because of some problems with Dorsai, which is the security of Fur Fight. He cited complaints about them, their behavior ranging from minor unprofessional annoyances to threats of him getting him arrested. Now those were echoed by his fiance Skiggles, and a member of the staff, Silver / That Damn Wolf, had resigned, saying it was unlikely to return even if the Dorsai were removed. And now there's a petition on change.org to have Dorsai removed as the security. So far, I've checked on there, they have over 270 signatures. Now, before I get more into that, let me remind everyone, I guess anyone who does not know what the Dorsai is, they're a volunteer security force consisting of entirely science fiction fans. They're also used in FCN, Indie FurCon, and of course Anthrocon. So how do I feel about this? May need to do a little investigation, because I'm sure that this is just a remote incident. Because I mean, so far I had no problems with at Anthrocon, but they just have some complaints about them. Most of it is about the enforcement of the rules, whether they're very vague or they're just too strict. So what do you guys think? Do you think that Dorsai should be removed? Just gonna place in the comments section, and I want to hear what you think. There was something removed at FCN. It seems that they have banned minors from registering. This was because of the hassle of obtaining parental consent forms, believe it or not. Overall, they register 10 minors. That took them as long as roughly 400 pre-registrations, considering that the total attendance was 1,127. Means that they only contributed to less than 1%. So seeing that they did not really appeal to anyone under the age of 18, they decided to place the ban. However, this will not mean that they will change the rating of the con. Anything that is considered adult will still have to be covered up. And MFF is this week, so I got to give you some info. And before I do that, I first need to say that unfortunately I will not be attending this year due to my work schedule. I tried to get my schedule for it. Unfortunately, they did not give me the days off, and no one wants to trade shifts with me, so unfortunately I will not be attending this year. So let's take a look at our schedule. And someone is calling me on my phone. Oh, it's my special guest, which I will also mention in just a moment. I will contact him in just a little bit. First of all, our schedule. Pre-reg is tomorrow, and sponsors will be going first at 4:30. just so we keep the line moving. And then all pre-reg will be opening at 5. General registration will be opening at 6. There will be a dance at 7 p.m. and that will be well, they don't give a range, so it's going to be a little bit vague this year. Sign-ups for Artist Alley will be at 11. Registration will be starting at 10, so you got a little bit of time. Opening ceremonies will be at noon. There will be a photo shoot that will be going on for a while. That will be at 2 o'clock. Let's see what we get. Oh, well, one of my favorite panels. Science, pseudoscience, and outright crap. Of course, Uncle Kage will be doing that panel. I think it's something that you all should see. He's got some very interesting stuff. That will be at 6 o'clock. For those of you that are doing the variety show, the first rehearsal will also be at 6. There's also a charity poker tournament that will also be starting at 6. Dance competition, the preliminaries will be starting at 8 p.m. So you want to participate in that. Let's go check that out. They might have you participate in this. I can't really see where they're having where all the locations are. They don't really say. I also forgot to mention, Kage Story Hour will be starting at 7, and To the Ranching Griffin will be right after him at 8 o'clock. There will be a dance that night, and that one will be at 11 p.m. This one will consist of top 40 Euro and drum and bass. On Saturday, there will be a second variety show rehearsal that will be at 10 a.m. And charity poker will continue on Saturday morning on the same time. There will the parade will be starting at 1 p.m. The gathering will be at 12:30. If you're going to be participating in that, be sure you get there early. Let's see. Variety show will be starting at 7 p.m. And there will be a charity performance by Kage and 2. They will be performing at 11 p.m. I really recommend going to this show. If you haven't seen them, please do. They are a great, great duo. You gotta see it. There will be a dance on Saturday. Those will consist of glitch, dubstep, electro, and hardcore. On Sunday, not much going on this day. There will be a dance competition that will be starting at 1 p.m. The games will be at 3:30 p.m. and the closing ceremonies will be at I almost read it at 6. It's actually 5 p.m. And the Dead Dog Party will be at 8 o'clock. That will consist of house, hip hop, and electro. Usually I give the locations of them, but I don't like the format of how they put their schedule in here. As usual, the Regency O'Hare will be the location of this very nice hotel. There's a free shuttle from O'Hare Airport, so please take that to your advantage if you're flying in. Let's see, the guests of honor for this one. Let's see, we got Jennifer Miller Nambroth, who is a nature artist of Feather Dust Studios. She currently lives in Western New York, the state, not the city. She shares her rural home with her husband, 5 parrots, and a flock of chickens. And she spends a great deal outdoors. She draws a lot of inspiration for artwork from her surroundings and has what others have referred to as an explosive passion for nature and wildlife. She's equally happy examining a wild bird as from afar as she's examining a tiny patch of moss. Adjoining her will be Dan Barrett, also known as Firestorm 6. He's a creator at Stormfire Studios, born in eastern Canada. And then he migrated to Ontario, Canada in 1998, taking on the nickname Firestorm 6 after discovering the furry world, and has since been a part of the community for over 13 years. In 2005, he had commissioned some local friends on his first suit of his original lion character, Max Lion. And then shortly after, took on a strong interest of suiting and construction. After debuting his first suit at Anthrocon a year later, he was hooked on it, and at that point, it changed his direction in the community. And one more that will be joining them, Melita Kirby, who is an artist at the Art of Melita Kirby. She's a Chicago-based artist, very appropriate to have her there. And her original home is in South Texas. The media she works with varies from gouache paintings. I am very bad with these fancy words. She's done cast plastic, sewn dolls, polymer clay, and leather. She's been a teacher, an animator, a phone interface designer, and a museum prep repairer. Now she is self-employed, focusing on one-of-a-kind art dolls, paintings, and handmade products, as well as creating personal costume pieces on the side. So they will be around, so be sure to check them out. Charity for this year will be Felines and Canines. They were originally founded in 1977. They are a licensed, cageless, no-kill cat shelter located on the north side of Chicago in the Edgewater neighborhood. Now, up until January 2012, they were operated as a cat-only shelter, caring for approximately 130 cats and kittens and a 2-story house. And now they made the decision to renovate and expand their facility in order to care up to 200 cats, and add a wing to house approximately 20 dogs and puppies. And so they came up with the new name, Felines and Canines. Their mission has been and will continue to be the providing a safe and loving shelter to abandoned, injured, abused, and neglected animals until their permanent adoptive home is found. So they will also be around, and so if you want to check them out, and I think they're bringing a few of their animals with them, if I'm right. So yes, go ahead and check that out. If you want to know more about MFF for this year, go to furfest.org. Okay, and now let me get to what I was talking about earlier. I went out to the movies just a few minutes ago, and I went to see Wreck-It Ralph, because over at Disney, they've been talking about it for quite a while. When I first heard of what the movie was going to be about, I was like, this story's been done before, so I felt half and half about it. But after seeing it, it was better than I thought. It's gotten good reviews for a good reason. So if you don't want me to spoil it, you may want to skip over it. So let me go over this quickly. It's about this character, Wreck-It Ralph, who is the bad guy in the game called Fix-It-Felix Jr. He is tired of being the bad guy, and he basically lives on this dump, which is really mostly bricks. So he decides that he wants to go out and get a medal to prove that he can be a good guy. So he goes out to a couple games. The first, Hero's Duty, and where he does get the medal, but then goes awry where he flies into a ship and it ends up in another game called Sugar Rush, which is the where most of the story ends up. So, so he ends up with it being this character called Vanellope von Schweetz, which he uses his medal to get into a race. The problem is she's a glitch and nobody wants her to race. So in order for him to get the medal back, she has to race and get the medal back. And then we see the villain of this film, which happens to be King Candy, which I will explain who he really is in just a moment. Now, of course, he doesn't want Vanellope to race. So he ends up talking to Ralph that if she races and the game crashes, then she's gone with the game. Even though all the other characters can go out into the into Game Central, which is where all the characters from the games go into. Which I don't know how that works, but whatever. So he ends up wrecking the car that they just made, but then they do fix it back up after realizing that Vanellope is on the side of the game console. So she has to be a big part of the game. So he goes back and they go and race. But then now this is where we have some problems because there are some subplots that I don't think should have been in the movie. Because when he went into Hero's Duty, he brought one of the bugs with him, and it ended up laying eggs underground, and now they're wrecking the place, which in the end is going to shut down the game. And it's very dark, but I don't think it was really needed because near the end they find out that King Candy is actually another character called Turbo, which was an old game from their arcade, and they put in this backstory that he was one of the most popular games. Then another game comes along, he gets jealous, he travels into that other game and crashes it. And both their games go out the door. So apparently he goes into Sugar Rush to create his own land. I think it is, and then he tries to end up taking over the whole arcade. So you got this villain, and then you got the bugs, and so Ralph figures the only way to stop it is to punch down on some Mentos into the Diet Coke mountain, which brings in all the bugs into the light and kills everything off. It's but in the end, Ralph accepts himself for who he is and goes back to what he's doing. And he enjoys it more. Overall, I thought it was a good story, but I just have a few problems with it. Like I said, the bug stuff, and they had this stuff with Felix has like a little romantic relationship with the gal from Hero's Duty. Yeah, I don't think it was really needed. Because with Turbo / King Candy trying to take over the arcade himself, I thought it was something that could have worked out itself. And then you got stuff which I didn't think they pushed enough. Like they pushed a story where in the beginning in the movie, they had something where Sonic the Hedgehog says that if you go into another game and then you end up dead over there, you can't regenerate, which is logical because there would be no coding for them to come back. But I just don't think they pushed it enough. Of course, they outed Turbo and all the bugs and Sugar Rush, but by that time you forget about that rule because you know they're going to be outed from the movie anyway. Uh, but I do admit that there were some good laughs in there, like with the gal from here's I don't know what I forgot what her name was. I don't know. She hasn't been in the movie long enough for me to remember. But Felix was in there with her. They ended up in Nesquik, and I had a good laugh out of that. And I just had some Nesquik last night, so I was laughing at that. I couldn't help it. It was a good play of words. And then they have all the laffy taffy coming down from there. It seems that the way for them to come down is to make him laugh, and how they do that is that she punches Felix in the face, and again, it's like a black eye Mick does, and then he fixes himself with his hammer, which seems to fix everything. No matter what he does, it fixes it. So you punch him, hit him with the hammer to fix himself, hit, hammer, hit, hammer, hit, hammer. They could do that for hours, and I would I could watch that for hours. I love that. But yeah, I rated that a 7.5 out of 10. Not the best movie I've seen, but it's definitely a good one. So, I've already gone 20 minutes, really? Wow, the time's gone by fast. So, alright, that's pretty much it for me, and I got something with a special guest here. I didn't tell you that, I only found this out last night. I didn't know. The New York City Bunny, Rabbit T Rabbit, is here. So they're going out, and I might just join them a little bit. So for those of you going to MFF, enjoy. Sorry I can't be there, but I'll try. I'll make it up to all of you.